glad y'all tuned in. We about to get this show started. Yeah. Dr. Clyde Winners and Yoshi. Yeah. Then and now. We talking about back in the day and right now. Yeah.
Now let's introduce Yoshima the Genius and Dr. Clyde Winters, the godfather of research.
What up, though? What up, though? Yoshi. Yoshi.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr.
You
Clyde.
there.
Somebody looking for me, huh? Yeah. And Clyde Winners.
Yoshima, you made the theme song, man. It be people coming around me singing that song. It is so infectious. It's so infectious.
I know, right? That's pretty tight, right? What's up, Doc? What's up? What's up, fam? What's happening? B1 fam, what's up?
Yeah, we got a lot of people in the audience today. We got Karen Vince in, Just Eve. We got Jay. What up, though? We got Jalen. What up, though? This is it, man. This is live. This is live because who don't want to go back to dating? Not me. I don't have the money.
Not me. Hey,
I don't have the money, baby.
That is a perfect. For anybody out there that's in a relationship, for you to step out of relationship or for you to look at other people's relationships, if yours is going good, man, you looking out there like, ooh, man, it's dirty out there, Dr. Clyde.
It is. It's kind of rough. How you doing, TW? I think the biggest thing is that people are so confused. Kevin Samuels, he set the world on fire, and he made us. He gave us hope that we had a position. Then he died like a lot of my father's friends back in the day died. He got with a young woman, and he died. He died the way we all pray we die. He was under the influence, but. The only problem, he died having sex with, it was with a Latina. Come on now, Mike. You're supposed to be for the sister. You're talking about being for the sister, and yet you died having sex with a young Latina. What can I say? What can I say? He went out dating, and family dating can kill.
It sure can.
It is rough as hell. What up, Create?
What's up, Create?
Create, he said something very interesting. He said, yes, indeed, dating can kill. I remember it from early relationships. Me and my girl, we were two horny teens moving too fast, but we were incompatible. After a while, I felt like I wanted to kill her. I didn't go that far, but damn it, it's kind of hard, but you're getting to know somebody. That's what dating was all about,
When you get to... If you're used to being alone and you're used to interacting with the internet and you're leaving messages whenever you don't want to talk and you trying to avoid somebody, instead of talking to them, you leave a message. You're able to put people off and brush people off. When you get with them in person, that's a different story. It's a different feeling. It's a different vibe. And a lot of these young people don't know how to interact with people in person, Dr. Clyde. They just lose it. So they get temper tantrums, the anger. They get fed up with people. You ever met somebody that you're too compatible with, that you're just too cool with, that it is irritable? You ever met somebody that it was just so opposite that it just attract, just like magnet, it just attracts so much, but y'all the opposite so much? Or have you met somebody that the same traits as you as everything, you're too compatible. A lot of these things can go on, man. There's a lot of factors when it comes to dating.
It's very complicated because see, back in the day, when you dated, you wanted to get to know somebody. When you went out dating, first of all, you know, as I told you back in the back 60s and 70s, you wanted to get a girl's number. Once you got a girl's number, or even if you got a girl's number at a high school or whatever, you know, you call her up. You know, you guys talk a couple of times on the telephone.
Right.
If you think you can connect, then ask, can you go over to her house? You don't never take a girl over your house until y'all get close, maybe around the holidays, maybe.
Right.
Most of the time, you go over her house first, you know, and
but not dogs.
Yeah, we're not dogs.
Dogs bring them to the house, no matter where, lay wherever.
Yeah,
a dog don't mind, but yeah, at least you had a little more respect than most of these dogs out there. I know some dogs, man.
Yeah, well, but you got to remember is that back in the day, you dated because of the fact that you might want to marry this girl. You might want to form a long lasting relationship. You know, when you're in high school, things like that. You know, after you graduate from high school, then you're not thinking like that, and so then. You know, we had to go back to the thing is that a lot of our parents, my parents at least, some of them were running away from the fact that, you know, back in the day, a lot of times your mom, your dad, and your grandfather, they determined who you got hooked up with. You know, it wasn't a lot of it wasn't a lot of so-called courting. You know, courting. They used to call it in the day courting, you know. It wasn't so much courting. And when you did do a little bit coding, it was under parental supervision, because see, a lot of times people understood that if you leave two horny teens by themselves without anybody around, after you get through hugging and kissing, there's gonna be some intercoursing. And then, but I think in the past you wanted to get to know the person. In the past, it was a lot of flaky people. But in the past, in a sense, you saw dating as some way to get to know you. Nowadays, I'm only going off talking to people, and I'm going off in a sense looking at YouTube. And nowadays, it seems as though everything is transactional. You know, I'm dating you because I think I'm gonna get some sex later.
You know, you get something from it. Is what can you do for me? What can I do for you? So with the woman is. Do I have the right body? If I got the right body, I can do for you sexually. The male is, if I got the money, if you want the money, I can do for you. You know, so I think that we got this stuff twisted. The BBLs, what they say, the BBLs is killing. I know you be seeing it, Dr. Clyde, where they be injecting themselves with all that.
Right.
Yeah, be hurting themselves, man. And I ask for what?
They're not doing it for us.
No, they're not. It can't be for us because we reject it. But somebody out there gotta like it, man. One of us gotta be out there taking that stuff home.
No, we don't. No, we don't have to like it because see, most of the things that women do, they do for themselves. You know, like those like when you see a skinny girl and she got eyelashes.
Oh yeah, she want to fly.
Long,
she ready to go fly.
Yeah, got eyelashes 2 inches long. She looked like it's nothing but eyelashes on that face.
Dude, they ready to fly. I be like, you know, they have a built-in fan on them, man. You know, you get them around you, Dr. Clyde, you'll be cool if it's hot.
Yeah, but real cool, man. But the point is this: they don't care if we like it; they like it. You know,
I guess not. Yeah. I guess not, because I remember when women used to put the clown makeup on, especially the Spanish women. You remember the Spanish girls used to have the clown makeup with the drawing their eyebrows. They was doing that stuff all weird and stuff. Then black people started doing it all weird and messing their face up looking like clowns. And that ain't for us. that weird perfume that's real strong, that's too strong, that smell
call it fat
real.
girl perfume.
Yeah, that fat girl perfume. That's not for us. That's not. We not attracted to that. Who is that for? You.
It's complicated.
Oh snap! But they think
TW
they doing
said,
it for us.
yeah, but they that's what they want you to believe. TW, Dr. Winters, and
Yeah.
Yoshi Mod,
What's
according to
up?
Neely Fuller Jr.,
Hmm.
interracial dating is completely off limits as long as the system of white supremacy exists. You have to love that logic. Stay safe. Yeah, but interracial dating is going on now. I mean, the
Oh, it's
minute
happening.
the minute in the 60s, I mean, hey, when I went away to college, when I was in high school, wasn't around none but black people. I was in the black community. When I went away to high school, them girls, they wanted to drop them drawers and give me a blowjob. I mean, that's what white girls love. Now all the girls love it. But back in the day, that was what older black women and white girls were the main ones that you could get to perform oral sex. The average sister under 30 wouldn't perform oral sex back in the 70s and
You see?
60s. At the
Hmm.
beginning of the 70s. By the middle, it became different. But see, now people are just dating off of this thing. What do your friends tell you about their dating experiences?
Dating experiences nowadays. Going to the club. You got two different scenes. You got the internet scene. You got the club scene. The club scene. You go to the club. You go buy a bottle. You look at one of the chick you think that's fine. You go holler at her. Spit some to her. If she bite, interaction take place. You leave. Depending on how everything goes, you take out to go eat. Maybe a hotel at the end of the night.
Yeah, I can dig it.
You see?
You know,
So
yeah. I know a lot of baby mamas that they got babies on those things.
that's what I'm
You know,
saying. Yeah. Hey, but that's what they do. It's a gamble of what can I get tonight. It's living in that moment of tonight. I had friends go up there to the club and they look for not the prettiest woman, but for the aight women. Like, not the ones that like dress up real, doing too much or anything. Like, they look for the mediocre aight. And normally what they do, they go up to them and they easily get fellatio from them
yeah.
real quick. And I wondered why. I asked my homeboy, I said, man, say, bro, how come this chick over here bad and you see her and you ain't like messing with her really, but this one over here, like she the bad chick want to mess with him, but you ain't too much messing with her, but you mess with this one right here. Why? He said, man, bro, I ain't trying to fall in love. I
Right.
said, whoa. So that's why he messed with. And then the world of why everybody is for somebody opened up to me. That's why you could see a mediocre chick that ain't got too much going on with herself, but if she pick herself up just a little bit, she can get somebody.
Yeah.
Because you got people like him running around, man.
But it's cool. It's cool at first, but see, what I found is that I used to tell my sons, I said, please don't fall in love with a hoe. But see, because the thing is, this is that mediocre girl. If you continually go around her, you're gonna get some feelings, and a lot and
Right.
a lot of times, you can see a brother who's stuck with a lady. But the main thing is this: is that it's the deception, it's the deceit. Dating today is so much about deceit. It's about how I can trick you, how I can get what I want. I mean, it was always like that. Back in the day, you went to the bar, and maybe a baby mama, they needed a little cash to maybe help pay some
Baby
rent,
mama.
get some kids. Oh, yes, get some kids a little extra food. Come on, this has been going on since the 40s. I mean, hell, back in the 40s, sometimes women would go to the club to meet a guy just so they can get a chicken dinner. Come on now. It's been
Yeah.
hard times, and so people used it as a way in a sense to provide for their families, provide for their children. What
Now,
up, told Mr. Sharp?
now, playing with these people emotions. What's up,
Okay,
Sharp? Now, so the thing is, Dr. Clyde, back then, women can go around and kind of play with men emotions. The weak guys become the trick. The wise guys own up to whatever they doing. Either they in on it or they ain't. You dig what I'm saying? So you back then the men was able to understand that, and there wasn't too many tricks out there, too many unemotional, stable men out there. Nowadays, there's so many unemotional, like they're unstable, emotionally unstable men out there that it's a shame. And they allowed these men to hold these positions and have money. They allowed these men to gain status and to get these women that fall victim to it. So I see a lot of that, Dr. Clyde. I see a lot of it because that emotion now that I see it is leading to a lot of debts.
but
Yeah,
it's always been some people who were too emotional,
too
men
emotional
and women.
forever.
But the thing is, this is it. I think today people are suffering from so much trauma. A lot of
Yeah,
us are getting diseases, man, from this food we're eating. This food is having psychological effects on us that
it is,
could
y'all.
be making people weaker than you might imagine. But I think that the hardest thing is that it seems as though many of the men and women out there who are dating, because of the fact that they don't know what dating is all about anymore. See, as I told you before, dating was a way to get to know somebody. It was a way, in a sense, for people to get to know each other, and one day maybe become a couple, join a partnership. But
Man,
nowadays it's become something else. I think it really started in the early 2000s when the only place that you could take a girl if you took a woman out, they wanted to go to Red Lobster. They wanted to have lobster dinners. It
right,
was
right.
lobster dinner time back in the
Because
day.
it was the most money. It's
Yeah,
if you can afford this, then you can afford me. Go for it.
yeah. But now I think it's much more complicated. What do you? I think I noticed. Don't you think the pandemic? Don't you think it's affected dating a little bit?
I think it really has affected dating. I remember walking in Walmart the other day and I was like, dang, Walmart not even the same after the pandemic. At the pandemic, Walmart was 24 hours and you can go late night and, you go find you something,
Uh,
late night, they call it Wally World. We after the club, you go eat, you take out. If it don't work with her, you go to Wally World. You see. So the pandemic changed a lot of things, a lot of activities, a lot of clubs that was barely making it. After the pandemic, no more clubs. Um, social social distance. Being comfortable with being on the internet and finding a relationship partner on the internet. Being comfortable with being open with your partners nowadays and saying, all I want is this from you.
yeah, that's a
it's
new thing.
it's blunt. Yeah, that is very new. That is saying what you want. That used to be a man thing. You see like commercials where you say, I want this, and she like, you gonna have to do this. Can you pay this? Can you do that? Beyonce came out with the song, Can You Pay My Bills? Pay my telephone bill, saying all that. So women had a list of things you had to do, to do that. Now it's changed, Baba. It's like the women is like, nah, I got some of the women is like, I got everything. I just want that. Just
Yeah,
give me that. But Baba, nobody talks about the the different STDs that is out there,
all right.
man. Nobody's talking about the dangers in them waters. Like all these women y'all think looking fine, all these men y'all think looking sexy, all this y'all think looking going on, man. Look, yeah, we look at them BET awards. Most of them people in there have some kind of infection, man. They just passing it around, but no, because it's confidential, you will never know.
Yeah. And it's kind of, and it's kind of so many things are going out there that's really kind of corrupting us. It's really kind of creating a problem. For example, he says that one of the new forms of deception in dating today is a transgender. I've heard some foul stories of them getting killed after the initial date. Yeah, sometimes, but most of the time they get killed because a lot of times, a brother don't like it, but let's just face it. Remember what's his name? Teddy Pendergrass. Remember? That's how he got. That's how he got in trouble because when he had that accident, it was most of the people performing oral sex, most of the people performing fellatio or oral sex. When you catch them on the street, are usually transgender. But some people say, and I don't know. Some people say that a woman that women can be bisexual, but they say a man cannot be bisexual.
No.
If he gives him too much oral sex,
none of that.
That's all he wants.
No Decepticons.
Yeah. Mr. Sharp says, yeah, girls have a guy to pay for this, a guy to give them rides. Then the guy she likes, ha ha ha. I'm trying to be the guy she likes. Yeah, but it's complicated. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. I saw one video with this sister went out on a date. And then when the brother took her out, they had a nice time. She invited him upstairs, and he just gave her a hug and kiss, and he left. And then she got on the internet saying he was gay. Now that's what you do. Back in the day, you didn't expect to get sex easy. My father taught us that a man should be selfish when it comes to having sex. The man should try to make sure that he controls that. You can't.
But they're not, Dr. Clyde, because back in the day, your pornos had a goddamn scene, right? You remember it had a whole scene. You gotta remember, these kids is learning from this. They mommy and daddy ain't teaching them sex ed and stuff like that. They learning from these internet stuff.
Yeah.
I caught plenty of them.
Yeah.
On their phone, you go in they history. And you go through their history and you type X. If something pop up X, oh, no, I got you. Porn. Some pop up porn, man, I got you. But what it is they don't have storylines no more, man. Back in the day, the pornos had a storyline. Now they don't have storyline. They get straight to it and they get nasty. And these kids is learning from that because these kids is reacting on drugs. They doing the vape pens, Baba Clyde, because my wife, she works at a alternative learning center. So they on these vape pens. So they doing these vape pens, watching this porn, and they getting in these relationships, and they're expecting each other to do and imitate what these pornos are doing, and they don't know that they eating their lives away. But man, they do that stuff at 13, 14. By the time they 16 and 18, they look 35.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these kids you see looking old. They vaping. They out there doing porn acts, man. These girls, what did you say earlier? You said it's all right for girl on girl, but not boy on boy.
No, I said no. What I said is that most of the time it's all to me can be a problem.
Right.
But they said that most of the time when a man gets involved in oral sex, if he becomes too overboard in that, after a while he don't care who does it.
There you go, and that's where you get that term. Anyone could. When they say suck my, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
When they start saying that, remember I told you on the last show, I said, man, that stuff ain't cool. That stuff don't fly right. You don't tell me to suck your and not expect for me to think you somewhat queer, somewhat in a rainbow community. You tell me something like that, I'm gonna off top think you in that. I'm gonna say, nah, you're a part of that clique, man. But yeah.
Back in the day when I was a teenager and a young adult, we used to always say if you wanted to find out if somebody was transgender, look at their shoulders, And but nowadays with these hormones and all that, you can't really tell. They can grow,
man.
They can grow breasts, everything.
I could smell a Decepticon from a mile away. I can smell a Decepticon, man. You can't, a Transformer around me. I know when man, my wife, she be watching TV and it be coming up and some of them Decepticons be popping up. I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly who you are, man. I look at everything, man. I point out hands, throat, the eyes, mouth, just gestures, because what they're doing is, you always got to remember, when a man is acting feminine, it is an act. So they have to act like a woman. So if anything that a woman is doing that is unnatural as a woman, then it's an act. And you call that act out, and most likely that's a man.
Okay, but see, there's a problem in that, because just like now they say that those models are taught by by gay men how to walk. Models are taught how to use makeup, and so a lot of
you right about that. You right, and man, look, them dudes, they be doing that makeup. Them dudes, they go hard, but that's an act. That's part of the act. But see, when a woman wear makeup, that's part of the act, Baba. I mean,
it's part of the act. It's part of the act. But what I'm saying is that women have allowed these men to tell them how to be a woman. They did. I don't know, family. You correct me. You guys in the chat, correct me, please. But many people are following what the gay beauticians, the gay makeup artists. That's where a lot of the fake eyebrows came from. That's where in a sense maybe a lot of the BBLs came from. That's where all the makeup came from.
They came from that. What they do is they get what women do, and they elaborated on it so much and do it so much. So I'm gonna tell you a story. There's a story on Woodfair. Woodfair, they have a lot of queers on Woodfair. So on Foreign Park Drive and on Bissonnette, back in early 2000s, it was a lot of prostitutes, women prostitutes on Bissonnette and Foreign Park. But once you go to Woodfair and Club Creek, it gets like very strange. It gets very, very strange. Men become women and women become men type stuff. So they walking around the block. Mostly men dressed as women. So got to be very, very skeptical when these dudes go over there. But it's normally Africans and Spanish men that'll go over there and they pick up these beast men. But a couple of times, not one, but I heard many stories of these Transformers being left dead in hotels, being left dead in cars, dying because of the deception.
Well, see, they don't report in the newspaper. I know in Chicago, how you doing, Dorville, and how you doing, Breeze?
Peace.
Because see, the thing is, this like, a lot of times, police officers and firemen, they'll be finding, murdered prostitutes, transgender and female, found in garbage cans, and they'll just pick them up and take it away. If you don't know a police officer, you wouldn't know all the people.
No.
Who were being murdered.
You have to be in the streets to know that. You right.
TW said back in the day, a girl I was dating asked me for $500 for a brother. I was like, WTF? So I'm a bank now. The nerve. beware of broke women. There's women that's not broke that might ask you for that. A lot of times, most women, in a sense, are trying to see if you're a trick anyway.
Yeah,
Doorbell.
it's a test. It's a test to see if you're a trick. Yeah.
Yeah, Doorbell said back in the '90s, some of the guys I hung around with used to say they would let Mike Tyson, screw them for $1 million. I stopped hanging around with them. You better. Why would they even say something like that?
Me and my homeboys was talking about how Spanish people at the workforce, whenever you go to work, they're like the gayest people ever. Like all the Spanish men are gay. Listen to me, folks.
Now you come on, are you
I'm about to go
generalizing
in.
now?
I'm about to go in because I have. If y'all look at our past shows, 9 to 5, I have I got a resume, man. Come on, Dr. Clyde.
Okay.
You know my resume is long.
All right.
My experience with gay people, 9 out of 10, because I have met probably about 2 or 3 out of all of them I worked with, man, that was like real straight and was like real manly, real, like we was cool. But most of them was gay, man. Them dudes was like real gay, man. They had wives and everything, but they was like fruity, like touching each other's butts and playing gay and saying gay stuff and using gay Spanish and listening to gay music.
Cabrona.
Man, they chiquita, hey chiquita, chiquita, chiquita. Yeah, I heard a lot of that. Like, what the?
I don't know. I don't know if I could generalize about that, but if you work with the average, if you work a lot of common jobs, you might see how people really are.
Yeah,
If you're in professional jobs, it might not be so obvious.
Hard labor. You will see people, man. They will show their true colors, man. They'll break down, Baba Clyde. It's like when hard labor kick in and you out there working hard every day, working hard, continuous, working hard with this same person, that person gonna break down and show themselves. And a lot of times they be showing themselves. Them Spanish people come in, and the reason why I say Spanish, because it don't care. It don't matter where they from. They could be from El Salvador. They could be from bottom of the map in Mexico. They could, because a lot of them don't like to be called Salvadorians, and a lot of them don't really like to call the. It's another word they got out there. I don't know if you. I know you familiar with it, but. They have another one they don't like to be called.
Majaho?
Nah, not that. It's another one because they darker. And they don't like to be called them. It's Salvadorians and something else. But, oh well. But, yeah, man, these Spanish people, that's why I say it don't matter who they are. They all act some kind of a fruity. And I always thought that, like, man, why these dudes act so fruity? No matter, look, Baba Clyde, put me up against any work person in our community, man, and we'll talk about it, man. These dudes act weird because I stood back and questioned them as a whole. It's been times I came home and questioned it, like, man, what's going on? I asked my wife, man, what's going on with these people, man?
Yeah. Well, I can't argue with you because I'm not around them a lot. So
I'm in Texas,
Creato says so many unnatural aspects in American society, from the food, dating, etc., due to second frequency influence. This show help us to get focused on what's natural again. I wish we could.
No,
it's
that's
very
right.
important, But the thing is, this is that it's how do you perceive? Just like I was reading this article once, as I was talking about, is that today you find many transgender females, whereas they said that it's kind of normal sometimes. It was normal for males to maybe eventually think they wanted to be women, but it was highly unlikely that you would find women. But today you find women, just as many women as men, that think that they want to be the opposite sex.
Well, they running away from that trauma like you talked about earlier, and they think that going to a whole nother. Baba, help me understand this. You don't like men. You're a woman. Let's look at a woman. A woman do not like men. Okay, she don't want to be around men. She like women. She want to date women. The woman that she dating don't like men. Okay, you got two women that is biased towards men, but both of them use a man's toy to give pleasure. They use something of an object that favors something of a man to give play. I don't understand that for nothing. I
Well,
can't understand it, Baba. It
because see, I can't go into the mind. The mind. Remember, you can
I
create
cannot
any
neither.
reality you wish. You can create
No,
any
that's right.
reality you wish. But what I think is that when I was a teenager, I always used to work at this chicken shack,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I worked at this chicken shack, what I found in a sense is that this lady would come in. She said, "Well, I don't like men no more, because men are no good. Men is that." And then I saw the lady one day. I was coming to work. I was about 17, 16, 17. I was coming to work, and then her girlfriend was beating her butt. And I said to myself,
Right.
if you don't like a man, why you letting this woman whoop your butt? So it's very
Right.
complicated, but it's the needs of people. It's the needs of people, and it's this whole idea of dating. I met some men and some women that they cannot be alone. They have to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Now, what's
They
that
they
about,
cannot just
man?
be by themselves.
I met people like that as well,
Did you ever
and they
talk to them to
need
find
somebody.
out? Did you ever talk to them
Um,
to find out why they were like that?
a lot of times when you find out who a lot of these people are, it all go back to trauma. Trauma sounds like a bad word, right? That sounds like just yucky. Trauma, but what trauma really is pain that has never been exploited. It's pain that has never been open. It's uncharted territories. That's kind of what trauma is, and reoccurring trauma. And dude, whenever I talk to people that have like relationship issues, it's always has something to do with them being hurt or father issues. A lot of times, Baba, it's father issues.
Really?
It's yeah, man, they're looking. All right, I knew one chick, right? Her father abandoned her,
Mm-hmm.
and she went out, but she still liked her father, so she still looked up to her father. So, but her father always like neglected her, never gave her no money for anything, never helped her out, never went to the kids' birthdays, anything like that. But every male that she have dated always had a liking image of her father because she was searching for the likeness of her father and was trying to get someone that semi favor her father, also semi have them traits. Now the father traits wasn't that good, so she'll try to find the good and the bad, but she always gets some bad out of everything because the father traits will always overpower the good, and she'll find the negative traits coming from any relationship that she jump into. What you think?
Well, I think it could be possible because when back in the day, the psychological literature, some people would say that your sons wanted to be gay because they were missing that fatherly love. So
Right.
I had five boys. Since I had five boys, when they were little, I'd kiss them and always hug them because I said, hell, I wanted them to know that their old man loved them. I love you.
I know
You
that's
don't have to be
right.
looking
I
for no
love
other
you. Don't have
man's
to look
love.
for no.
You ain't got to look for no other man's love. But the
Right.
thing is this is that things are so complicated in terms of trying to raise your children because you're trying to answer questions that we can't answer. Creaso
True.
says, I don't know, maybe you can answer this question. I do think about the sexual trauma within the Hispanic culture as well as ours. When I consider the excessive rape that occurred between Black and Latino Latin people at the hands of the AMU, I understand. I don't know. I don't know if it was. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Well, we look at how they was created. First of all, how they was actually created was through a lot of that rape and trauma and deception. Their whole heritage is created off deception, trauma, and rape and manipulation. I can see that. And ours wasn't. We were, I guess, rubbed on. That's them traits was rubbed on us. So I can absolutely see that, and the way how they act with each other, because like I said, under pressure, they come out, man. Baba, they come out. They get to acting real fruity and start talking Spanish fruity. That's how I learned a lot of Spanish. You know, they be like, ajaquita, what they say, they'll be like, a la verga. You know, y'all people know what I'm talking about out there. They be doing all that kind of weird stuff, and you like, come on, man, what is that? And you learning Spanish the wrong way.
That's a contradiction. That's a contradiction because
also
because you know, in Spanish culture, according to the researchers, I haven't done research, but according to the researchers, Spanish culture is machismo, in the sense that they encourage the boys to be men and men to be men and things like that. And in fact, a lot of times they'll shower greater support to the male. You know, but I do believe in the sense that any culture in the Western Hemisphere, because of the fact that the cultures over here were slave cultures, I do believe that there's certain things that was spread among us by Europeans. Number one, a lot of in a sense rape.
Rape.
Sexual intercourse without being married. I think that was popular. I mean, even today you find almost just as many baby mamas in the Spanish community as in the Black community. You see, so we see these elements because of this culture that was put up on us. We're doing just Eve and Marie Antoinette, but the thing is this:
what's up? What's up?
You know, but the thing is this: is that I think that in terms of dating is that we carry out these various things in dating. You know, we were trying to move away, because I'd look back and I heard my grandmother, my great grandmother and grandmother and all them, you know, when they were alive, talked about the fact that it was their parents who encouraged them to get married. And then people, I think, in a sense, started dating because they was going to find the love on their own. Right. But the problem is that it looked like those people who were told to get married by their parents, they grew into love. Whereas it seems as though when people try to find love through dating, sometimes they grow out of love of each other. It's kind of contradictory. You know, Marie says that trauma is definitely real with a lot of people. They never get those issues resolved professionally. I'll agree. A lot of times we do need to have those things done professionally, because you can't talk to your brother, father, sister, mother about relationships that went wrong.
No.
Because
you want them to stay out.
Yeah. You feel stupid, and you can talk to that outsider. Yep. And I think that so many of us as foundational Black Americans, we don't really want to go and get that professional help.
And a lot of us don't. A lot of us, I've seen people who need professional help. Other people will say that they need the professional help to their guardians, and their guardians will deny them and say that ain't what our family do.
Yeah.
I've seen that firsthand, Baba. I have seen families reject professional help and say, man, that's for white folk.
Yeah.
I've seen it, man. And it's...
You know, now, this is something I found interesting. Doorbell said, a Hispanic dude told me the young girls would make them guys do anal sex so they wouldn't get pregnant. You know, that can be probably true, because I remember back in the 90s, I used to, we had a program where the kids could work jobs over the summer. And so some of my former students who had graduated from and were in high school, I know one of the girls came and told me, one of the girls was saying, yeah, Dr. Winter, Mr. Winters, because I wasn't a doctor. And she said, said, I know a good way not to get pregnant is through anal sex. But I said, you shouldn't probably be engaged in anal sex. I mean, if a woman can catch a disease just by using the same towel that she uses to clean her anus, and then use that same towel to clean her vagina, that can cause an infection. I told her, I said, you definitely shouldn't be involved in anal sex. But a lot of times a lot of young people are trying to do things that they hope will protect them from being impregnated. And this whole idea of pregnancy, is in a sense a traumatic thing in itself. Because even though we've been conditioned and grew up in a Western society, and growing up in this Western society, we've been conditioned to feel that if we do get together, we've been conditioned to feel that there's always going to be a way to have a relationship, and that if we do get together, everything is okay. It's not okay. Sometimes you do need some guidance, and a lot of times, we grow up in our communities. I don't know about the Latino community, but in the Black community, often there's not a real sit down and talk. I talked to my sons though. When my sons got a certain age, I said, you should always carry a rubber in your wallet. I said that you should always understand in the senses that I don't want you to have an out of wedlock baby, because I said if you have an out of wedlock baby, I want to see all my grandchildren. But I said if you give a girl a baby and you're not married to her, she may not let me and your mama get to see him. So I would prefer that you would always use a rubber prophylactic in a sense when you're having sexual intercourse, instead of going raw, instead of going bare. And I look at these basketball and football players who find these women, and they'll have sex with them, knowing that they got a target on their back, a money sign on their back, that they will have sex without using a rubber, man. And then these ladies in a sense take them to court. You know that most Black athletes become broke because they're paying so much money for child support.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
A lot of them keep their Jimmy to themselves then.
That's right, because see, a lot of times those women, when you got 3 or 4 women and you're making a lot of money, they can keep going to court and they can eat you up. See? But the whole point is this, is that I felt I should talk to my kids. But when I was teaching, I used to teach 6th grade. And back then the average girl would have her period around 11 or 12. And do you know, I would sometimes have girls in my class who would become terrified because they would begin to menstruate in class, and they hadn't even been spoken to. They hadn't even been talked to by their moms.
Right.
And I'd have to send them to the office, and they'd be feeling embarrassed. And I think so a lot of people are engaging in dating, engaging in natural events, and they don't even understand how to protect themselves and how to, in a sense, make sure that they don't don't hurt each other.
Oh nah, and they hurting each other too. They hurting each other. Now, the reason why I created that poster, the thumbnail, was to show people that you have some folks out here that love you so much that they would kill you. Mm-hmm. Now, it's been a lot of broadcasted murders now happening amongst the Black community, dealing with murders in relationships. And that's why I wanted to speak to y'all about that with the emotions. How to control your emotions. Can you control it through meditation? Now, Baquette came on the show, and that was a tight show, Barbara. Thank you for that. She came on the show, and she talked about shadow work and the significance of it, the power.
Could you explain to the family what shadow work is?
Absolutely. And shadow work is basically going back in your past, and at any moment in time, anything that triggers you, all you do is just go back in it and revisit. And it's really, you just go back in your past on everything. You start back to your earliest memory with your eyes closed. Start back to your earliest memory. Go back in your brain and start the film. Press play on the film and watch the film. And that film is going to take you through a journey. That journey is going to have some ups and downs, but do not cut the film off. The whole point of shadow work is to watch the movie through the ups and downs. Go through the emotions. You're going to cry. You're going to laugh. You're going to, man, it's your movie. It's basically going through your movie, working through your movie, understanding every event that happened in your movie happened for a reason. And if there's anything that you want to change in that movie, it's not too late to change it now in your life. Because whatever you change in your movie by observing your movie, you can change in your life. Because, like I tell my son, a reoccurring event is either something that you're occurring because you haven't made the right choice yet, or there's another choice that you were supposed to obviously make. You're not never supposed to make the same bad mistake 24/7. You learn from every mistake. You make the right choices 24/7 to avoid making the mistakes. But to learn the mistakes, that's what we have to be aware of, is our mistakes and learn from them. And that's what shadow work is really here to do. Beckett came and she did a wonderful presentation about shadow work and her wonderful book. What's the name of her book, Barbara Clyde?
The Black Mother's Wound.
The Black Mother's Wound. Yeah, a wonderful presentation on that book.
She's got a lot of good exercises in that book too, written exercises.
And that's good to have the exercises, because when you're in a relationship and you do not know who to talk to, you don't want to go to your parents. Let's say, for instance, your parents is somebody that you don't want to go to. You don't want to go to your friends because you don't want too many people in your business, right? What do? I say a lot of the times what helped me was meditation. I did a lot of meditation to get through a lot of my problems. I had to learn how to step back, because when these young dudes start calling spouses, their girls, their relationship, whoever they're with, homeboy, homie, my partner, my G, my little nigga, all that, hey man, it's hard for that woman to respect you at the end of the day, when she's your bitch, or when she's your little nigga, or y'all partners like that. Like, me and my wife are cool, but that's my wife. I give her a high standards. I give her a high title, and I don't put no dirty title above her title. Now, she can put a little dirty title on herself amongst her little friends, but I never do it amongst her. But what us youngsters, what I see with the young community, and I watch what the youngsters do, and the youngsters under us, y'all, the ones that grew up with Cheetos, hot chips, and wear the sweaters out when it's hot as hell outside. Yeah, y'all. What I notice in y'all relationships, it's very emotional, and y'all don't know how to control y'all emotions, and y'all end up killing one another. See, Baba Clyde, that's the reason for the thumbnail. These kids is killing each other, man. They killing each other, Baba. They around here, they don't know how to, remember how you said earlier how the girl play with the mind? You can't play with these youngster minds nowadays, Baba. These youngsters, you play with these youngsters' mind, they look at these women as a op. There was a dude named Man, what's that dude name? I'm always bad with these dudes. Young Von One. Yeah, Von One, he died. So Von One, man, I was liking that dude's songs. I was like, man, that dude pretty. It was very, very, bad. You know, the lyrics was bad, but I was hearing this melody and hearing his energy in it. But then I heard one song came across me. Dude was like, he was following the chick home and watching her, and then he seen her in the street and got his pistol and dropped her and killed her and down there in the street. So I was like, God dang, man, what the hell, man? This dude here raw. You know, that's the kind of, that's right. When you say Clyde, I think he's from Shot-Town or ATL or something. I think Atlanta. That's when you say the disciples, dude was like, jumped up with the basketball or whatever and then shot him and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
you know, you seeing people getting shot in front of you. I see that because in the entertainment business, they brought that stuff right on into that network. And the relationships, people, when you're in a relationship, when a dude addresses you as a bitch, man, get out. And I'm talking to all FBA. You know, I'm talking to all my black queens out there. You know, and black kings, man. You consider yourself a king. King eat only amongst kings, right? You know, so my thing to y'all kings, not every woman is a queen. Some of these women out here will F you up if you treat them as such and you don't know who they are, so get to know them. Just like
yeah,
the woman, get to know the man. Pandemic, Baba, like you said, messed everything up. Because people look, people don't know if they talking to robots on the phone. I seen that show. You ever seen that show, Fished or something like that, Catfished on
I saw
MTV? You
one or two of
probably,
them. Yeah,
yeah, you have. All right, yeah, me too. I seen that. I seen probably a couple of them. My wife used to watch it when it was fresh, but that was back in the day. And it's so easy to catfish somebody, fam, off the
right.
internet.
You
Just
know,
put somebody else's pictures up, send them a message, DM them, never meet
yeah.
up with them, get some money from them, keep sending them a sad story. It's just dangerous, Baba.
Yeah, how you doing, Tones Fi and Progressive Gaming,
Mm,
and also King of Dreams? But you're absolutely right, and see, but here's the biggest problem, is that it is so many people, it is so many people in need, and it is so many people that are looking for what they think is love, instead of looking for respect. And I think that many of us get a fantasy view of love, from reading books, looking at movies, and we think about how we're supposed to treat each other. And as you said, many young people, they don't really take time to meditate. They don't really take time in the sense to think about the fact that every thought that come in your mind may not be a good thought. See, we forget
right.
we forget that there's a negative part of us. Because
Yep.
there's a negative part of us, you had to be real, you had to set some standards. And I think that some people, they never establish standards in their life, and because they don't establish standards in their life, then therefore they don't know how to really be in a relationship. They don't know how to. They don't know how to let go. Because see, when back in the day, you when you started talking to girls started talking to guys, we felt in the way it was a game. And so since we felt that when you first meet somebody, it's a game, what you were trying to do is that you was trying to get to know that person so you could stop gaming with each other. You
All
know what
right,
I'm saying?
Baba.
Go ahead.
Now, back in the day, y'all had a lot of whores walking around. Like, what? I don't mean whores on the block. I mean working whores. Like men whores and women whores. Just fast women,
But they
fast men.
was on certain parts of town though. They
You see what
wasn't
I'm
just
saying?
in the
See,
community.
back then it was certain parts of town. Now it's everywhere, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, all right. So back in your day, you get that population and times it by 20 now. That's what the kids are facing now. So that's what I look at. Like when I was in school, Baba, it was probably 6, 7 gay people that was like out. 6 boys, 6 girls. You know what I'm saying? The girls was kind of more because they blended in with basketball quicker. The boys, you know, it was harder for them. I watched, you know, but for the ones that was out, it wasn't that many. Now, man, probably 8 out of 10 friends at school are thinking that they a boy and a girl.
But they're rewarded. They're rewarded.
Yeah, they're rewarded. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. So now you see, so if you type in LGBT cartoons, they have a whole line of cartoons, man, catering to them. I like to do stuff like that. I like to look at like KKK websites, the you know, on them days, man. I like to see what hates me so much, you know, or what's the opposition, or Donald Trump website or Biden website, you know, do stuff like that and go deep to looking what's bad and what's out there. So, you know, knowing that they actually have created a line of books, merchandise, cartoons, cartoon characters to the T to teach and target the kids is dangerous, man. That's scary and it's dangerous, man.
You can't even see a movie like today. I was looking at Netflix, and so I was looking at this series called Bodies, you know, and then all of a sudden they have to always throw a gay relationship. This is the first time I knew it was white people, because most of the time they have a mixed couple of black people or the gay people. But they got to show a gay couple and everything. I'm not mad at people, but they make it feel that they're normal. When I said that the kids are being rewarded, you know, Doorbell said it was always messed up. The pandemic just exposed the wound that was covered up by the bandage. But see, when I'm talking about kids are rewarded, is that many kids, when they look at TV, what they get from TV and what they get from TV to movies, and they get from these BET, is that they get the idea that the people who become successful in America, think about this, they get the idea that the people who become successful in America are gay. You know, you see all your actors, a lot of your actors, they're gay. A lot of your writers, they're gay.
All of them are.
Right. Well, not all. Yeah. Maybe a lot of them are, but that makes these kids feel. That's
scary. That's scary.
True, but it makes the kids feel that if they want to be a writer, if they want to be an actor, then it's best to start being gay now. You see, but they don't understand. They don't understand that that's deliberately done so that they don't have to worry about procreative sex. They do not want children to exist. They do not want more children. And see, the European, just like a lot of people say, okay, they're bringing in immigrants. They're bringing in immigrants because of the fact, in the sense, is that they're bringing immigrants to knock black people down. No, America is in geopolitical, geopolitics. And geopolitics, a country has power based upon their populations. You know, China got a couple of billion people. India got a couple of billion people. So America, they continually allow people into the United States, immigrants, not so much because they want the immigrants to replace us, but that increases their numbers because they're not procreating. See, they're not procreating.
Dying, right? It says that the white population is dying.
And not only that, but see, it's so much gayness that they're not having children. See, every white civilization in history, Greece, Rome, Britain, now America, every white civilization lasts 200 years at the most. And at the end of 200 years, it usually begins to go down by a lot of people becoming homosexual and going into a lot of oral sex. Because see, oral sex is not procreative. When you engage in oral sex, male or female, you don't care who do it. You're
done. Yeah. You see? It's done.
Let's take a little break, and look at a few commercials, and see where we're coming from.
Straight up, straight up. Turn 5, what's up? Maria Antoinette, what's up? Y'all go get some of that jewelry from Tons 5.
And a lot of this jewelry, what Tones Fire has done is that he's seen artifacts that they found in the mounds that our Aboriginal ancestors made, and some of this jewelry is based upon that. You see, these yellow pieces. Those are based on artifacts that came from our ancestors. But let's see. Let's look at more of Tone Fire stuff.
She got me reaching for the top on my tippy toes. Just got she messing with the chicken toes. The cold to your heart, put them dinner rolls. Chase spirit one time, make it soul, make it soul. She gon' take me out of space into another soul. So spirit, she messing with the pretty hoes. Microwaves and cold, that's not a fence. I'm falling in that grind, smoking good on that troll. That cold, even now with the cuz all up in the front. And the first good approach, she gon' jumping up to the floor. You know she live with gold with the alchemy in the bowl. Trippy super sodas, the greatest I never told. She gon' get you right, you son when you go.
Come on, support this brother. Get some of this jewelry. The stuff is great, and I know this is the whole point. Even though in a sense we've Black History Month is over, we still need to be teaching our children. We still need to be giving our children knowledge, and the best way to give them knowledge is to have the materials to teach them with. And this is what Yoshimon has developed. We need every home should have some of these for their children to study.
Oh, Shay.
Family, I'm excited to tell you about something super special and educational. This Black History Month, Yoshimon has created an amazing collection of PDFs all about incredible Black inventors and their amazing achievements. Do you know about Mae Jemison, the first FBA woman astronaut? Or Percy Julian?
Come on now.
Family, I'm excited to tell you about something super special and educational. This Black History Month, Yoshimon has created an amazing collection of PDFs all about incredible Black inventors and their amazing achievements. Do you know about Mae Jemison, the first FBA woman astronaut? Or Percy Julian, who made groundbreaking discoveries in chemistry? These are just a couple of the amazing people you'll learn about in these PDFs. These PDFs are perfect for teachers, homeschooling parents, or anyone who loves learning. They're filled with fun facts and inspiring stories that make learning about Black history exciting. Only $3 for a journey through history with some of the most influential Black inventors and scientists. Just click the link in the description to grab your copies from Yoshimod's Gumroad store. And don't forget to check out Yoshimod's other amazing creations and music on Spotify. Let's learn, have fun, and celebrate Black history together.
Come on now, we got to get this stuff popping, because see, the thing is that we need to get our kids educated. Our kids need to know stuff. We got to set up some homeschools.
Yes, indeed.
Today is today. We need to homeschool our children due to white supremacy. In many states, education departments are passing laws to deny our children from learning the history of foundational Black Americans. Today, you can learn how to organize and teach your children in a homeschool in my book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black Americans. You can use my book, History of Blacks in America from Prehistory to 1877, to teach our children their history here in the United States. You can use my book to teach world history. And this book I've written is called The World History of the Black World. This will teach your children about every Black civilization in the world. Get this book. The time is now. Get these books to teach your children about their greatness, to prevent them from losing confidence in their own ability, to learn and be successful future adults in employment and education.
So dreamy. Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals of America. Yes, I've written a new book. This book is called History and Culture of Afro-Americans. It's about the Aboriginal Americans. It's about the first people who inhabited America. Many people don't know about our great culture, this super culture that we created, but I discussed this book. In 489 pages, you'll find out so much information, great information, about, in a sense, what the Aboriginal foundational Black Americans did. You're going to see, in a sense, that Black people contributed much here. When the first Europeans got here, that's what they found. Yes, they found Black Aboriginals inhabiting the Americas. It was the Black Aboriginals that built this country. This is why you had to get my book, History and Culture of the Aboriginal Blacks of the Americas. In this book, you will find out the truth. You will know what we created. You will know who we are. Get this book. Buy it now. Hey, it's time for the Afrocentric Researcher course led by Dr. Clyde Winters. Join this course. The 15-week Afrocentric Researcher course will begin on April 16, 2024. It will last between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can go to clyde98.gumroad.com/L/ to join the class. The Afrocentric Researcher course is vital. In this course, you will learn how to do research. It will help you to write and conduct research. You see, you're going to learn how to do research. You're going to learn how to interpret research literature. And you're going to learn how to write books and articles. Yes, books and articles. And you're going to learn how to use research data to improve your small business. Already, in a sense, many former students have begun to write articles and books that they published. You too can write these articles and books after you take my class. You can make a single payment of $599. You can go to clyde98.gumroad.com/L/ZBWRJR, or you can make monthly payments. Go to clyde98.gumroad. Join me for my 15-week Afrocentric Researcher course. It's going to be the class that's going to help you to really be a success. It's going to start April 16, 2024, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join us. Join us in this class. Learn how to do research. It's up to you. Yeah, so again, if you guys are interested in joining my research class, you can join it. We're going to start April 16th. Go and get started now. This is a 15-week course. Mm-hmm. And this course is, it's 30 hours long, 15 weeks, 2 hours a night. That's over 30 hours. That's 30 hours of instruction, and it's less than $39 an hour. You see, so join me, and hopefully, we can become, activists, and we can get things done, because see, it's a new day, and it's time that we start to really try to get ourselves together. It's time, in the sense that we start to be able to express ourselves, And I've been teaching a lot of people lately how to publish their books, because see, there's people waiting out there for the knowledge that you have. Yoshima is about to come out with 3 books, you see, but we won't go there. We won't go there, right. Because they're not ready yet. But the thing is this, that the power's out there. Get his history stuff. We got to do some homeschooling, because see, our kids are suffering, and a lot of us are suffering from CAIDS, culturally acquired immune identity deficiency syndrome, because we don't know our history. And because we don't know our history, we lose our immunity to whiteness, and then we lose our identity. That's what's happening to our kids today, who feel that the only way you can be successful is to be a homosexual. See? Yep. But see, if you can get your kids to read some of those PDFs that Yoshimod has made, and your kids can see that other people have been successful that weren't homosexuals.
Nope.
They were people, in a sense, who wanted who wanted to get things done. But anyway, let's get back to the conversation. And again, it's very important to understand is that dating is the thing. A lot of young people, because of the fact they don't have a sense of who they are, they don't have a sense of how to really deal with a relationship, are killing each other. And this
And
has
they beating up each other. They fighting each other, man. And I want to elaborate more, like what you said about the schools. And the reason why I'm with homeschooling, but at this moment I'm not doing it. But I'm totally with it because right now my son is being picked on because of the biased school system by Clyde. So what the school system is doing, the girl is hitting my son. When my son go to hit the girl, he gets in trouble. And I was told by the teacher that the reason why little Sally didn't get in trouble because she cried and she showed her emotions, that she was sorry. And I was like, BS, and my son went to detention. So a lot of biased stuff that goes on in a schoolhouse to where they pick on your kid, where they create these crazy rules where I believe that if y'all do take y'all child out, y'all need to invest in what Baba Clyde have to offer. His book will guide y'all and help y'all with homeschooling to get y'all on the right track, because he will go break it down from start to finish on what it takes for you to be a successful parent / teacher when it come to homeschooling your child. Also, you getting away from the discipline of the school. Like I said, man, they put my son in, like, I say they put him in jail, man. I told you, Bob, I already think school is like jail to me,
yeah.
From the bus to the lunch to the walking, it's almost like the walking in line, preparing them for jail in a
Jail.
sense, I always say that, they actually have schools out here that look like jail, man.
Well, see, it's the orderliness. I remember when you teach. When I started teaching elementary school, it was hard for me to get used to lining the kids up. They come out in the hall, and then you walk around the side of the building, just like in prison, maybe. But
Right.
the thing is, this is that it's orderliness, and
Yeah.
but the thing is that it's very hard. Is that as a teacher, I can tell you from experience.
Mm-hmm.
I found it very hard. I found it very hard because a lot of times you see the last person who passed the lick. And usually the last person who passed the lick, they didn't do it, but
Right.
you got to go off the observations.
Right.
And it's very difficult. But the thing is is that if you're going to homeschool your child, unless that kid is 11 or 12 or maybe third, depending upon what the state says that a kid can be left alone, you need to have another parent at home. But see, somebody has to be around to encourage the kid, at least in the early stages, because usually if you homeschool your child, after a while the child will begin to do the work on their own. But they need the initial drive of someone to get them to get the work done. Girls are much better in homeschools than boys are. Boys are going to try to find a way of try to find some slick way.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah,
all the time. Dennis the Menace got to be into everything. Yes.
JP says, I read 3 of your books this week, including the new book, and I loved all of them. Thank you for the knowledge. My favorite author. Thank you. That makes a brother feel good.
His books, he talks to you. That's why they're easy to read. Everybody, if y'all think these books are intimidating, they're not.
Yeah.
They're easy read books. When I say easy read, I don't mean gabba gabba goo goo gaga. I mean like he's talking to you. Like if you can listen to one of his movies and sit through a whole movie, then you can read one of his books and then read multiple, because he's gonna not only I like how he does it, because he does it so professional. He do it like he will show you the movie, but if you read the book, you will have like all the guts. like big time. He puts the guts in the books. You think you getting everything from his movies, his presentations? You're not. It's the books. The books got everything in it.
Dorvell says, JP, finger red #1, finger red #1, finger red #1. I have about 10 of his books. Great, and that's a good support from that
I know
Dorvell,
that's right.
because Dorvell is a great researcher.
That's tight.
He's doing so much great research. He's doing so much great research in terms of what's happening over there in Spain. You know, and he's looking at the Moriscos, the Moors, and all that type of good stuff. Is that a lot of that stuff? I wish he could put it together, because if he could put it together, it would be so in a sense enlightening for us, because we need this knowledge out there. Because see, our kids need this knowledge so they won't be fighting. See, when they have self-esteem, you know, just like I remember the local girl on the block. Every block has a girl who's free-hearted. What I mean by that is that they'll have sex with just about anybody. Let 3 or 4 boys pull trains on them.
Yeah.
You know, usually it's a little red girl, little light-skinned girl. Not all the time, but usually it's a little light-skinned girl.
Dang, how did you know? God dang.
Because hey man, I was young at one time. But the thing is this, is that what I found is that a lot of these girls are misunderstood. I couldn't understand why somebody would let people pull a train on them. Why you letting all these people have sex with you? You know, they're not your boy. They don't even have to be your boyfriend and stuff or whatever. But the thing is this, is that this whole idea of dating, that people are not using dating as a way to get to know each other. They're not using dating as a way that they can grow. What they're doing is that they're just using dating as a way that they can just maybe have sex. And then there's consequences to sex.
Pleasure. Yes, there's consequences behind that.
Yeah.
There's consequences. And like we said, these people are killing each other. So you go and play with somebody's emotions, Baba. These kids don't know how to take it. They shooting.
Yeah.
They don't know how to take it. They dumping the bodies, man. There's a lot of stuff that's popping up. What did he say?
He said, courting is not dating. Dating became a term prostitutes. That's true. I do remember that a lot of times, beginning in the 90s and early 2000s, a lot of times the prostitutes say, "Do you want to date?" You know, that would be how they would approach you. Wow. And so in a way, it did go in that direction. But I think the main thing that happened is that people don't know how to date. They don't know the reasons behind dating, and that people, in a sense, are just doing something for the hell of it. You know, a lot of parents, they don't understand that when your daughter has a guy over the house, you shouldn't just leave them in the living room by themselves.
No,
you should never go to the bedroom to your daughter.
I don't care how much you think you trust. Yeah. I was that guy you was leaving in that living room alone, and I was trying to get it. I was that guy you left in that bedroom alone that you trusted. No, I was trying to get it all the time. It was no trust, and that's bad. That's very bad.
Right, and you know, like Gregory, you're on the case, man. Callaway, walk in the park. Remember free dating when nobody had any money. That was the whole point. Is that you walked in the park because you wanted to get to know somebody. You wanted to get a connection.
Yeah, you walk and talk, right?
Yeah, and see nowadays, in a sense, I mean, back in the day, if you didn't have no conversation, a girl wouldn't hardly want to deal with you. Period. You know, all this quiet stuff. No, you had to be able, in a sense, to have some game about yourself.
Yeah. Even nowadays, I think that's what's hurting a lot of the youth, is that texting and that typing. You can be so quiet for so long, but when you in person, it's awkward. You being around people, and people get on your nerves too quick. Like I said, a lot of these people out here do not know how to deal with trauma, and they got temper tantrums. And that's why I said before with the shadow work. Now, what happens once you're done with shadow work, Baba? How do you still handle all this stress? Because I call it stress. Whenever you got to learn somebody new, the dating scene is you have to learn somebody new every time, and you got to get used to them. So when you see all these people out here saying, I'm over here dating this, I'm over here dating that, man, they got to get used to these people. They got to get used to, especially when you see somebody in and out dating relationships. Man, they got to get used to that stuff, man. They got to get used to them people 24/7. But getting used to people's every day. Well, I think you said it in one of our shows. You said it takes 6 months.
See, like usually the average guy know he want to get married after 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
He want that girl or that woman. He want her after 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, you may not get married, but you know that that's the person for you. That's why when you see people that just be boyfriend and girlfriend for 3-4 years, come on now, I don't understand that.
I don't understand that neither, but I was that guy. Yeah.
You had a girlfriend for 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, me and my wife, we was together for 10 years, 9 years.
But you were living together. So you were
right.
You were informally married.
Right.
And I think you were informally being dedicated to each other. That's a different thing.
Right. That was my wife. But not I understand what you're saying, like have a girlfriend and knowing that's your girlfriend and like
y'all just go and see each other off and on.
Yeah, and off and on.
Yeah.
Y'all kinda go that's weird.
Yeah.
And it's you're leaving if you're in that relationship, normally the women from when I hear my wife talk to other women about that, normally the woman is waiting on the man to kind of leave their other relationships alone.
But
So
it's
they
true,
have
isn't
hopes.
it? Isn't it true? Isn't it true though, Yoshi? Remember, Yoshi, you don't have to marry your wife. I didn't have to marry my wife.
No.
You know, we could have shacked up for years.
Yeah, I knew mine was right. I didn't believe. I still don't look at marriage. I don't wear a ring. Because I don't need to. Because mine is my wife is.
Yeah.
I trust my wife. Like my homeboy asked me. He said, you let your wife use your phone? You know, like you gotta like. Do you go through your wife's phone and do she go through yours? I said, we don't have to go through each other's phone because she got my password, I got hers.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily going through it.
You ain't got nothing to hide.
I don't have nothing to hide. Yeah, I don't have nothing to hide at all, you know.
See, family, a man usually will fall in love. A man will tell very few women, I think most men will tell very few women that they love them. You tell your mom and them, and within a man's lifetime, I think a man may tell maybe no more than 2 women that he loves them, and one of them is the one he marries. You know, now I'm not saying if I'm out and I'm at a club and a woman looking good and she dressed good and you know and she say, "Do you love me?" Oh, I love you. But see, but that's because they forced me. They forced
you, huh? Good looks.
Yeah.
Like my homeboy said, he don't talk to nobody that's fine.
That's because I felt that I wanted, you know, there used to be a song back in the day, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make an ugly woman your wife. You know. But see, I wanted to have a pretty woman. I wanted to have a beautiful woman. My wife to me was very beautiful. And the thing is that, and then she got older. When I used to when Facebook came out and I looked at some of the girls when we were teenagers in our early 20s, how good they was looking and how they looked today, I said, damn, I made the right choice, you see. But you know, Brad Murray says something that's very interesting. Brad Murray says that I was told it takes a minimum of 2 years to properly vet a woman out. It doesn't usually take 2 years. You may hang around that time, but most of the time, you know right away if you want to be with this woman or don't. You know right away if you want to just have sex with her. Yeah, you know right away if you want to just have sex with her and move on, or if you want to make a relationship that y'all can be a forever relationship, so-called forever relationship.
I knew mine was right away. I knew this was the alpha and omega, the beginning and the end. What we got here?
Karen Vincine is talking about. You can read that. She's talking about what you was talking about. This man, the man pushed his girlfriend onto the train track
Saturday.
The train was coming. Both her feet had to be removed. They had an argument. Yeah, that's what Yoshi talking about. These people, they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to talk. They don't know what they should do.
Yeah, so they're killing each other, and it's out of hate. And the thing is, fam, these youngsters, they're blacking out. They're blanking out when they do this. I have I knew a guy in the hood. His mother smoked rock. You dig what I'm saying? So she was in and out of prison, and he gets into it with his mother, and he ended up body slamming his mother, a couple of times. Yeah, a couple of times. And he ended up getting in a relationship with this girl, and he's around by 17 years old, and in this relationship, he started fighting her, put her hands on her, little Spanish girl, so he fighting her. The parents intervene. He goes to jail. He gets out. He goes back to her. They get an apartment together. He fight again. Now, what's the logic in this? And then he says to us, man, I'm trying to get her pregnant. And we're like, dude, didn't you just go to jail, but you don't have a job? You just went to jail behind her by fighting her. The parents don't like you. And you trying to get her pregnant? Yeah, I'm trying to get. And it's like, where's the logic in it? But he smoked the vapes. This is these kids. This is the same guy that'll walk around with his pants hanging all the way off his butt, showing his bottom. He has the sweater on while it's 100 degrees in Texas, and he's smoking vapes, and he's selling marijuana, and think that is a high qualified paying thug job, and he's a so-called Spotify or SoundCloud rapper on the side. This the young generation that's growing up with the home studios and stuff. This is a young generation that's thinking they hot and thinking that's what they need to do is beat up they chick and impregnate them whenever they want. I knew dudes like that, Baba.
But those are people that are too into social media. Those are people who are too much trying to be what they see and what they hear on the rap songs. I mean the hip hop songs. JP says, I'm 22 and don't have social media, so I haven't dated because this era is so different. But I'm glad I've never dealt with the problems that I've seen many others deal with. That's true. And see, a lot of times you create the headaches, because see, it's you choose. I hate to say this a lot of times, you can choose a lot of that drama. Like you said, the man who wants to get this woman pregnant, he wants to beat on her. That's kind of silly.
There's many like that. There's a lot of men. And if any of y'all men is listening, y'all know, I know, there's a guy there's men that used to talk to me, right, Baba? They say, man, this before I had my son, they say, man, you ever looked at your bitch, man, and be like, man, I want to get this motherfucker pregnant. And I'd be like, huh? What? And I'm like, I say, what?
That's kind of sick because I think that most men, I don't understand. I wouldn't understand a man like that because most men, most of us go along with our women want to have children because see, most of us feel when that child comes, it's going to knock out the intimacy.
But these are the same dudes that I noticed that had the kids and do not take care of them.
Yeah.
They don't be around. But they told me this, and this, when I tell y'all people, man, when I'm telling y'all fam, it's multiple men have told me stuff like that. Like, man, have you ever looked at your gal and like, man, I just want to get her pregnant. And it's like, and I look at them like, nah, everything stops. Get her pregnant, 9 months, you done. But they're not looking at that. I don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, but like Tones 5 says, if a boy doesn't learn to respect their mom or a woman in general, they will never become a man mentally. That's probably true, but I think it's also what Karen says. And what Karen says is that they should not be dating so young. You got a point there because see, like my daughter, I told her she couldn't date until she was 16 or 17. If she had them little boyfriends out in the street, they wasn't coming over my house. And that was that. And
man, they don't care about that.
They don't care about that, but the point is that you have to have a standard. You have to in a sense encourage it. I will admit though, when we were growing up, I wouldn't feed my daughter a lot of chicken and beef back in
come?
the day, because see, a lot of the girls back then was having that period at 8 years old.
Oh, them hormones are
Those
speeding
hormones
it up.
and the chicken and
That's
beef
when
and
it was
stuff.
legal. You're
So,
right.
I felt as long as I could keep her playing with dolls,
Yep.
maybe she wouldn't want to
that's
be
right.
interested in the boys.
Baba, they growing up too fast, man.
Yeah.
They trying to, man, look, before they even know about dating, they don't even know about dating. And they over here trying to claim that they dating, man. They got kids. I have a nephew, dude was 11 years old, talking about they have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Man, get the fuck out of here, man. You better get out of here and go sit down and go wipe your butt. You know you didn't wipe it, right?
But if you remember, when I was in school, I remember when I was younger, it was the girls who wanted to have boyfriends before the boys did.
I know, but it's changed now, man. It's different. You remember how they said, what you said, that they putting all kind of hormone changing stuff in the foods and the cereals. My son don't eat no cereals, man. They got the candies with the hormone changing stuff. They got the foods with the hormone. They targeting these kids and trying to make them but Baba, I wanted to ask you this. It don't make sense to me for white people to be going extinct and create the LGBT whole thing to annihilate their race even more, and they embrace it in a sense. I don't understand why. What the hell? But another thing I don't get is, this is a little off topic, but in the end game is not just to learn the knowledge, but the end game is to gain the knowledge to get off this planet. From what I've been learning, they've been looking at our history to learn how to build spacecrafts.
See,
and how to leave.
But see, remember, I did a show on that the Egyptians, they had spacecrafts.
That's what
and they used to go off the planet. I did a video on that. But see, I had to understand is that the European, some people say that the Nazis, they already can go off planet. Some they used to have some videos called the Secret Space Command. They took them off during the pandemic. And the Europeans are supposed to have slave colonies on many of the asteroids and on Mars and other planets, even to today. So that whole thing about going in out of space, they may already be out there. But the only problem with this is that Europeans don't know how to get along with anybody. And because they don't know how to get along with anybody, they're going to be engaged in some sort of conflict. But see, the thing is that what happened is that, now this is what I read in a lot of books. Mm-hmm. In the 1950s, some aliens told Eisenhower and other people, the rich people, that there's going to be a big cataclysm, and they should be prepared to leave this planet so they can avoid the cataclysm. That's why some people are thinking about going out of space. They can go wherever they want. I put my faith in God Almighty. Because I put my faith in God Almighty is that I know that we will always find a way. Now this is off the subject, but the NBW KMTK, he said, and it says, I'm aware that Baba Clyde Winters has several books that he has wrote. However, are there any projects and plans in regards of history throughout the Americas? Yeah, I wrote many books on the histories of the Americas. Get my books on ancient African empires. In my ancient African empire book, I talk about all the ancient empires in the Americas. And my latest book, this talks about the Black Aboriginals.
Baba, I got my copy. It's at my mother's house. I'm gonna have to bring it.
Oh yeah, I know you should have got them.
Y'all gonna see a commercial coming from me.
You got them on Friday,
Yes, you already know it.
You gotta go to Mama's house.
I gotta go get it. Yeah. We waiting. I gotta put some floors down for Mama, y'all.
Well, hey, I'm glad that you can do that stuff. But the thing is, this is that I've written a lot of books.
Yep.
I got over 50 books out there, so I got plenty of books
Baby.
on blacks in ancient America. That's
Yeah.
nothing. That's nothing. But this is the most important thing we need to do. You know, like JP said, teaching morals is so important for children. Before they attempt to date, they need high self-esteem and a relationship with God before dating. That's absolutely right. You know, that's the first thing. The first thing your child should do is to learn how to pray. If
Yep.
they're Christian, they should be able to say, now I lay me down to sleep.
I'll
If they're
fall out
Muslim,
though
they should be
in
able to say,
heaven.
you
Allah
know,
be thy name. Yeah, all that. They supposed to
that's
say
right.
all that.
And then they
Yeah.
get older, you teach them, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy
Right on.
name, you see?
Yeah, teach
You
them.
know, and so you got to teach your kids morality. Because they can't live. I told my kids this when my kids were growing up. I said, me and your mama might let you down. Me and your mama might sometime not be there for you. But God is always there for you.
Always.
So you had to believe in Amma. You had to believe in God. You know, Karen Vincent said my mom was very strict. She worked hard and had her fun on the weekends. Always told us that she was not talking of no babies. She was not taking to no babies, and that's true. You can't be taking care of them, and that's
No,
the whole
no.
point. You know, is that it's very difficult. It's very difficult. You know, and will Baba please consider doing a
MBW
project
sign.
that will expose the history of America, Dow's codes, and the eugenics and the modern Hispanics? I've done videos on that. I did videos on that with Reverend Dr. Matthews. You know, you can go to those channels, and in fact, right now you're on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channels, I have videos on the Hispanics, why they hate us. I have videos on all aspects of Black history. On
True.
this channel, I got over 300 videos that deal with every aspect of Black history. I explain, in a sense, why in the dolls list that Black people, why we have European names and how we got those European names and we didn't get them from our masters. Yoshi Mod and this guy named Quentin and Q, they ain't got me almost 1 million views. Is it 1 million views yet on just TikTok? They
TikTok.
put a lot of good
Yeah.
videos out there. And so that we need this stuff. But see, we have to be able to get young people. We have to be able to get young people to respect themselves. You know, we have to get young people to begin to understand that there is some things that we can use. There is some things that we can do, but we have to, in a sense, respect ourselves even before we start going out dating. You got
Baba, their music and their visuals, entertainment, it ain't what's up, man.
right.
It
Look at
sucks.
Sexy Red. Sexy Red's latest song is a disgrace.
It's nasty.
Yeah, I know.
They talking about you can hit it on the period stuff. I
Yeah,
heard one of them say it's for sale. This P is for sale. It's disgusting. It's dirty. It's just
yeah,
these women. You know, you look at down the line, man. If they really about that life, a lot of them had a lot of STDs, man. If they
yeah.
really doing what them songs say they doing, and they got the boom boom lips, they really full of
But you know,
STDs, man.
a lot of young people. I notice a lot of young people listen to 70s and 80s music. They're listening to 70s and 80s music, and they're moving away from this. You know, I think I saw a video the other day, and this
Mm-hmm.
brother was saying that when they used to call rap music, it was better than when they started calling it hip hop. You know, because you know hippie mean a fool and will off. Hippie mean a fool and will off.
Mm.
So by us calling it hip hop, maybe we did in a sense make it foolish because see every word carries its meaning. A word doesn't lose its meaning. And so in Willoff, hippie means a fool, a foolish person. And so maybe when they started calling it hip hop, that's what led the music to start becoming very, very foolish, very, very negative, you see.
So he said hip hop was rap was first and hip hop was second.
No, he said that rap. When we used to call it rap back in the day in the '80s and all that. Then later,
Okay.
then later they started calling it hip hop around the '90s. They moved from
Okay.
rap to hip hop in the
Hip hop
'90s. Yeah,
and hip hop full of food. Hippie, right?
yeah. Hippie is a Wolof word that means foolish.
Foolish.
Yeah,
Talking foolish.
yeah.
But nowadays rap is foolish talk and hip hop is more conscious.
But do we have any hip hop? Do we have
Yeah.
any hip hop? You
Yeah,
might
you
be
do.
making it. They're
Well,
not. They're not.
it's not only me. There's a line of I don't know. All right, look, let me take that back. I make music and I'm very conscious of what I put out, and I just don't put out my opinions a lot. I like my music to be timeless. I have been fans of a lot of artists out there that are, I guess you could put us in a category of conscience rap. But then when I hear them and I go deep in and meditate towards them on their music, it's not really genuine. It's not there. A lot of it is they're being, well, they're regurgitating somebody else's teachings. And that's something that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be a regurgitator of teachers. I wanted to actually go through what I went through experience. So it's hard to find a lot of MCs out there are not going through it or writing from their experience, which have a lot of people out there that are fans that separate the artist from the music. You ever heard that term?
Yeah,
And I think in our community, we have to stop separating the artist from the music because they go hand in hand, or
right.
separate the artist from who they are, the entertainer. They're the same. They go hand in hand. If this dude is around here kissing men and wearing dresses, and then he's a goddamn coach at the end of the day, or he a drag queen at night
Ain't
and
being
he's a
both.
coach in the morning, can you separate the two? A lot of people say, yeah, you separate the two. That ain't got nothing to do with what he's doing. And I think that is the problem, y'all. Because that stuff, that nightlife will seep into that day life.
Right. And,
That stuff seeps in, man.
you got to set a good example. Brad Murray said, "I've been listening to Gil Scott Heron album called Pieces of Man. Came out in '72. Amazing. How it's still relatable till this day. Also, Nancy Wilson. Nancy Wilson. That was the first album I bought when I went to college. Because when you go to college, you're supposed to be listening to sophisticated music. JP. I like what she said too. JP said that's why I only listen to old school or meditation music, because the music now is straight trash. It is
JP, meditation music. I got some meditation music on Spotify, a whole album. Check that out. You'll love it. It's called Egyptian Meditation. You'll love it. Check that out.
And so it's so very important in a sense. But in terms of dating, what we had to understand, I think, and I didn't show it, but Karen, she brought the fact is that it's people are being too young. They're starting dating too young. You brought up how was a little young kid, one of your relatives, 11 some years old, and he said he got a girlfriend. Some people, I've seen some parents. They're even trying to have their little kids 4 and 5 years old. Go hug her. That's your girl.
They encourage it. But Baba, what about the adults that's living a second childhood, that's mentally never became an adult?
Right.
That's mentally going through it. That is mentally still trying to live. They graduated from high school, but they're like 39 years old, still trying to be in high school.
Yeah,
they still doing high school stuff. They don't have they're not owning up to their responsibility.
Or
what
50,
JP talking about?
JP talking about Yoshi. JP said yes. I heard your Egyptian meditation while I was reading the other day and love
For
it.
sure,
Thank
for sure.
you. Did
Peace,
go
peace.
Yoshimod ain't on Spotify for nothing. Check
No,
out this
no,
man's
no,
music.
no. Please
And
check it out.
this is the real, this is the legit. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
JP, for saying
Thank
this.
you,
See, that's the
JP.
whole point.
Really appreciate
That's
it.
the whole point is that we have to, in a sense, find a way to find a relationship with who and what we are, find a relationship in which we're trying to share. See, and the whole point is this is that the thing that I don't like, and I know I keep going back to oral sex, and the reason I keep going back to oral sex is that oral sex is the individual thing. Having intercourse is supposed to be something that's two people that you have to join. You both have to help each other. You both have to, in a sense, sharing. Whereas in a sense, with oral sex, that's just one person being satisfied. And and the thing is, this is that I think that's another thing that helps spread this unity among us. And you brought up earlier how even though these women may become gay, but then they want to get some sort of tool that's the male member,
Organ. Yeah. That's
to
true.
engage in any type of
Yeah.
relationship. It's crazy. But the whole point is this is that
Oh.
I think that this whole idea of meditating, as JP and other people brought up, as you brought up, is they had to go and they have to do, in a sense, that shadow work. And that shadow work is so important. Could you explain? Some people may have just came in. Could you
Good.
explain what shadow work is?
Perfect. Okay, so let's say, for instance, you do music. Shadow work can work through music. All right. So shadow work is basically going up in the past. You go up in your past and you're reliving your past. You go to your earliest memory, and then I want you to go through that memory and let it play all the way out. And then it'll go to another one. Wherever the memory leads to, even if it's bad, go to it. Because through the bad, you will come out some good. Through that good, you will go through some bad. Through that bad, you will go through some good. And you will keep going through it, and it's a roller coaster. And through meditation, through shadow work, because remember, shadow work is nothing evil. It's nothing bad. There's no devils involved. Shadow work is you sitting with yourself. It's going to take time, but healing takes time. But Kat has a book. What's the book called, brother?
The Black Mother's Wound.
The Black Mother's Wound. And in that book, she discussed and give prime examples on how to deal with trauma and different techniques on how to work through it. And one of them techniques is shadow work. Now, are you too young to go through and do shadow work? No, you need to do it now. Everybody needs to do it now. Have you ever done it? And you're a guru at what you're doing and this and that? Well, I believe that nobody is their true self until they do some shadow work. Once you get over that shadow work, you overcome a lot of your traumas. And here's the benefit of it. Whatever traumas that like sparks you, like really agitate you, let's say white people smelling like dogs and they rubbing up against you and they asking you every question in the world, that stuff is right, it's a trauma. If it triggers you, that is something that you need to work on. And your reflection, you working on your reflection, your inner thoughts, helps you better with dealing with society. When you go around these people, you're able to avoid, maneuver around it. You're able to work through these situations a whole lot better, and it won't actually trigger you. It won't make you have that temper tantrum. So in relationships, if you have relationships where you always say, they're the problem, remember, how many fingers pointing back at me? 3 of them. All right? I got one pointing at what I thought was the problem, but I got 3 of them pointing at me. So fix your problem first. Fix all 3 of your problems, then you can look at that problem and say something is wrong with that problem. But always remember this too. Fam, you picked him or her.
Right.
You picked it. It didn't come to you. You came to it. It didn't. You didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on. Nah, I'm just playing. But nah, you picked it. You know what I'm saying? So don't. I really do not like when men, they go about and they talk bad about their women, or the women talk bad about their men and their relationships. You pick that person. At the end of the day, by you talking about that, them fingers is pointed back at you because you took time and laid with that person, took your clothes off for that. You trusted that person somewhere in your soul and said, let me take this off for this person. I trust you. And you laid with that person and it backfired. So whenever you talk about your spouse in a negative way, especially around the kids, which is real bad, I don't condone that. I don't not condone that. I don't do that in front of mine. Look, whatever problems we got, we go talk in the back room. But me and my wife, I love her. That is my friend at the end of the day, my best friend, not my homeboy. That is my best friend. And with her, we talk we're going to have our differences. We know that. She's going to be mad one day. That's just the way how it go. I deal with it, work with it. But,
Taisha Montez said that.
Music.
Right, that's the way it's got to be.
All right, so the music that the kids are listening to. So if you go up on Fortnite right now and go listen to your kids' music, I guarantee it's some negative stuff. Yes, meditate. Maria Antoinette says meditation music. Yes, because see the music. So these kids, they're eating artificial candy. They're eating all this junk food. The yellow 5s, the red 40s, the blues. They eating all this artificial stuff. They're eating the Takis. They're eating the hot chips. Yeah. And that stuff causes ADHD. It causes the kids to have... What's up?
Look at this. 2 weeks ago, they announced on ABC News that if you eat Cheerios will make you want to be the opposite sex.
Yeah, they got that in that the corn. They did the corn, the GMO. Right. So Cheerios. They fucked with Dr. Clyde.
I like Cheerios.
They messed with his breakfast.
I can't eat no more. I can't eat no more.
It's oatmeal safe. It's oatmeal safe. They messing with the old. Look, they trying to get the old folks to change their genders before they leave, man. They like, man, look, if you can just put on a wig before you go, that'll just make you done everything. Hell no.
Yoshi, we coming up on 2 hours.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a last comment before we leave?
Hey, to the young people, learn meditation, learn shadow work. Shadow work is major. Respect your other, your equal half. Respect it, and always put yourself in your other person's shoes. Remember that.
That's good.
Always do that. I think a lot of us don't like to do that. Do it. Try it. It'll hurt you, right? But a lot of us don't like to go in here. Go in there, because when you go in there, you will start to see what you did to others. I have cried plenty of times seeing how I caused pain to my spouse, my beloved woman, my beautiful baby. I caused pain to her because I was selfish, reacting off emotions. Yeah. And she knows that. But few people know that in relationships. It's been times my wife wanted to get the gun and put it up to my little head. I hope not. Blow that little head way from here to Nebraska. Yeah. And watch it slide to Alaska. And chill on the blood in Alabama. She was going to do it all, baby. She was going to do it all. But what I'm saying to y'all is patience, knowing your limits, knowing your spouse limits, not to cross them limits. Never go to the outer limits, guys. Put yourself in a position. Do unto others like you want done unto yourself. And if both of y'all can do that, and both of y'all can become leaders and lead by example, I think y'all relationship will be wonderful. And I'm planning on that, Baba. So I'm working on mine right now. We 12 years in. So yeah.
Well, you know, keep it going. Okay,
Yeah.
see you guys
Yeah,
next week.
Next week.
Just want to leave you with a couple of things.
Get them books, baby. Y'all get them books.
We're here to take your brand and creativity to new heights. From EPKs to AI commercials, animated music commercials to animated AI bios, book covers to picture flyers, and so much more, we've got you covered. Our team is dedicated to delivering high-quality, cutting-edge designs that leave a lasting impression. And for our valued clients, we offer exceptional creativity, a customer-centric approach, and work that reflects the latest trends and technologies. Just about making art, we're about creating experiences. Your brand, your vision, our artistry. Professionalism and reliability are the cornerstones of everything we do. We're more than a service, we're your creative partners. If you're ready to make your brand shine, look no further than Yoshimod Productions. Join us in the journey of creativity. Contact us today and let's make your vision a reality.
Yeah. Right now, it's time to wrap everything up, you dig? Yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And Dr. Clyde Winters, Den and 9. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody. All y'all support. Y'all like, subscribe, and share this. You dig it? Yoshi. You've been invited to the Den and 9. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Den and 9. Yeah, Dr. Clyde Winters in the Yoshimod. Intro, outro to the Den and 9. We gon' see you, so have dinner now. Yeah, raise your head. Why put them down? B1 on that Den and 9. FB8 on that Den and 9. FBB on that Den and 9. It's all about unity on that Den and 9. My indigenous folks on that Den and 9. All my Africans rise on that Den and 9. Rise up on that Den and 9. And don't forget to subscribe to Den and 9.